Hello everyone, I'm the Peculiar Pisces, and today is Monday, March 25th, 2024, and this is Flosstube video number 11. It has been a crazy week with my kids being home. I have managed to work on every single project, and I was able to get several hours in on them. I am quite proud of the work that I got done this past week, even though the schedule was like all over the place. And it's still like that because the kids are still home and they don't go back to school until Tuesday of next week. It's the 2nd, I think. So that's when I'm going to be doing my video next week when the kids finally go back to school so I can go back downstairs and be in my normal spot with the better lighting. And we'll get back to normal next week. So I will start this first off with a past finish. And this one, I didn't finish it until 2023. And this was from the same book, the Care Bear Cousins. Designs by Gloria and Pat, adapted for Paragon at Needlecraft. And on the back, the copyright on this says 1985. You might be able to find it on eBay. You might be able to find it on Mercari. You might be able to find it on Etsy. There are several places that you might be able to find it. I did not look this week because I forgot to check. I forgot to see if I could even find it. But this is the book that it's from. I had originally planned on working on this to put up in my oldest's nursery, but that did not work out. After I finished the Swift Heart Rabbit one, I don't know if I was progressed enough in my pregnancy that sitting down was just too much. Like I haven't ironed it, I haven't washed it. I really, really need to. Let me see if I can just get a little bit closer. Put this behind it. I did it on a pink fabric because Lots of Heart Elephant is pink. As I said, this was to go in the nursery, and I either couldn't sit down long enough to work on my stitching, or I just got sucked into crocheting. I crocheted a lot of blankets in between Lots of Heart, or I started them. I'm really good at starting projects. With me taking daily pictures of my projects if I worked on them, and doing these Flosstube videos, it's kind of keeping me accountable and making sure that I'm still working and progressing on my projects. Because I am a procrastinator. I can start projects and I'll usually get about halfway to 3/4 of the way, and then I'm like, I'm so bored. This is too much. In fact, when I picked this one up, I'm pretty sure I was like 3/4 of the way. And yeah. So monogamous stitching is really not for me. And up to this point in my life, that's all I had done. And so I finished this back in August, maybe September of 2023. And then I did a couple of little tiny projects, and I'll show you 2 of them because I still physically have 2 of them. My oldest claimed one of them, and so who knows? I'm never going to find that again. But I was really doing well at the end of last year on doing monogamous stitching because I was taking daily pictures. And not only was I taking them daily pictures, but I was sending them to my BFF, and I was like, look, this is what I did for the day. And I just kept doing that all the way up until I completed my last project of last year, which when I started stitching, I think was back in, I think it was August. And then I stitched all the way up until December 26th was when I finished the last project. And I did 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I did 6 projects from August to December because I was taking the daily pictures and monogamously stitching, and it works and I can do it clearly, but that's not the way that I have my projects normally spaced out throughout the day really works for me, because then I don't get bored with one single project, especially because I've stated it before, as I'm stitching, I can't see the forest through the trees. It's like I'm so focused on this little area that I can't see the bigger picture until at the end when I pull away. But you know, when you get halfway to 3/4 of the way and it's just like you're like, I've been stitching forever and this still isn't done, and I feel like there is no progress. It's like you could be like, I stitched for 4 hours today and I can't even tell what I did. And those days, they hurt, you know, it hurts your soul. And you're just like, I don't know. I don't, it's why I would switch to another project and then get about the same point in that project. And then I would switch to a new one and get about the same point and just keep switching instead of going back. But taking the daily pictures, I can look at the picture from the day before and go, oh, wait, I can see the difference between today and where I ended yesterday. So it's a lot easier for me and it helps me get things done. And I do that with all of my projects. I take daily pictures, even with spacing them out the way that I normally do. So, on to why you're actually here. Project number 1 is my favorite designer project, and it's Teresa Wentzler, and it's the castle, which is the one right here on this picture. And I hit a milestone on, I believe, Thursday. I had to text my friend a series of texts. You're going to get the actual song because that's how I am. But I hit the halfway point. I had to move my hoop to keep stitching, but I hit the halfway point on the castle. And so I texted my BFF a picture, and of course you can't get it, but through text, but I'm gonna sing it for you now. But I texted her, whoa, I'm halfway there. Whoa, stitching in my chair. I take my thread and I stab it everywhere. Whoa, I'm halfway there. So, as you can see, well, let me just undo this so you can actually see. But as you can see, I finished off the first section, and now I've moved down here. And this morning, I was stitching on it this morning. All this gray that you can see in through here is what I've done this morning, because today is my day that I'm going to be working on this one. Man, the lighting in here is just so off. I'm sorry, all of my colors look washed out and faded to me, and I apologize for that. But next week we'll be in the normal spot and the colors should be back to normal. But I've brought down some of the dragon and I've got some of the stones. I've actually hit the far left edge of this area. So for this project, I did 4, almost 5 hours on Monday the 18th, and then I did another 3 hours on Friday the 22nd. So for the total this week, I did 7 hours, 47 minutes, and 14 seconds. And then adding to that, my grand total is 83 hours, 38 minutes, and 49 seconds. So I arguably spent more time working on this one last week than I did any of my other projects. which is as it should be since this is the one that I'm calling the favorite designer. So I just wanted to show that again. This is 16 count Aida that I hand dyed myself, 2/1. Again, this is Teresa Wentzler, the Castle, and so far this is 83 hours put into this project. Next up is the one that is either a Blackwork or a sampler. This one is a Blackwork. It is by Practical Blackwork, and it is called Pentecost, and it is really, really intricate. So, why are you there? That's weird. I don't know why that was on there. Because it wasn't doing anything. It was just in the way. So this is where I am for this week's progress. I think last week I had all the lines, and so I filled in here, and I started working on these diamondy bits. And hopefully this week I'll get to finish these and finish the leafing in here, and hopefully get to the cross. Hopefully, this jewels diamondy bit in here takes a really long time. It's very intricate and it's very hard to get the pattern down, like it is with the other sections. Like this right here is the easiest portion to get the pattern down. And then the ivy leaves, whatever we want to call it, is the next. So this was page 4, page 3, page 1, and I'm probably halfway done on this page, and then page 2 over here. And so that you get an idea on how we're coming on the total project, here we are. So this is 18 count hand dyed fabric, 1/1. And then this week I did 4 hours, 53 minutes, and 46 seconds, bringing my total for this piece to this way. 57 hours, 37 minutes, and 35 seconds. Again, this is Pentecost by Practical Blackwork. My favorite part is how it looks on the back. It looks just as cool, just as intricate on the back as it does on the front. The front just looks cleaner. Okay. And then project 3 is Heaven and Earth Designs, Fae Risque by Amy Brown. I am doing a color conversion from red to blue. This is what I printed out of Pattern Keeper with my blue conversion. I finished page 9. And so I'm starting to work going up. I think it's page 5. Yeah. So page 10 and page 9 are now complete. The wings are mostly done. So now I'm going to be working up and over I'm going to be going up along the left edge and finishing all the pages along the left edge and then coming over. Wow, I feel like you really can't see the coloring very well. That was in the way too. Let me see. Does that make it any easier to see? Oh, wait here. Maybe if I angle it a little bit. Does that make it a little bit easier to see now? So this is 22 count. I believe it's a Hardinger and not an Aida like I had previously been saying, but I'm not 100% sure, but it is 22 count. I do know that. 22 count, 2/1, full cross on hand dyed. This is Fae Risque No Background. And then, did I say? I did 4 hours, 14 minutes, and 41 seconds on that last week, bringing my total up to 86 hours, 58 minutes, and 35 seconds. And that means my Teresa Wentzler is still 3 hours behind on the amount of work. Now, my fourth project is my Stashbuster piece. This is a Plaid Bucilla kit. It is called Hummingbird and Floral, and the designer is Donna Dewberry. I must say this has been the surprise kit so far. I wasn't expecting it to be as intricate and as complicated as it is, and I am just in love with how it's turning out. So I did not use the provided Aida. I wasn't sure if there was going to be any stains or mess from rubber bands inside the kit, so I just purchased some Charles Craft Aida from the store, 14 count. And here is where we are this week. I got lots of work done on this one that I normally don't get throughout the week. I would argue that I probably got twice the amount of time to work on this than I normally do. I put in 5 hours, 14 minutes, and 47 seconds on this one this week. A lot of it was just bringing the colors down and bringing them down. I'm hoping that as soon as I am done with this flower, the count is no longer off. Somewhere up in through here, I messed up the count, and I'm only off by like 1 stitch, but I tried to fix it over here, and like I moved over here, and all of these were in the right spots, and then it's been crazy trying to fill in that 1 square all the way down. I think I will have it done by the time I finish filling in this section right here. I only have a little bit more areas here. Most of it's filled in here. There's some leaves over here, and then it continues on. I'm a good way through this section. I am quite happy with the progress on this. But as I said, I put in 5 hours, 14 minutes, and 47 seconds into it this week, and that has brought my total for this project to 24 hours, 44 minutes, and 6 seconds. Now, give me just one moment. Okay, so that was all 4 of my projects and the progress. Since I hit the halfway point on the Teresa Wentzler, for me, it's time to start planning the next project, figuring out what I want to do, and all that. So I decided my second favorite designer project is going to be a Mirabilia. And I am going to do the August Peridot Fairy. I purchased this off of 123 Stitch, and at the same time that I purchased the pattern, I also went ahead and purchased all of the beads that I would need, because the one store here that I frequently purchase that is like a local, they're a fabric store, and then they have a pretty decent cross stitch wall. They do have a lot of the Mill Hill kits, and they do sell the Mill Hill beads. But I was just afraid that when the time came, I wouldn't be able to track down the beads. I wouldn't be able to find the right ones. And I don't think I've ever seen Michael's sell Mill Hill beads. I don't think my Joanne Fabrics has Mill Hill beads. I don't think I've ever seen them. I don't think I've ever seen any of their kits there. I don't frequent Hobby Lobby very often. I don't know if they sell Mill Hill beads there either. So I just went ahead and decided that while I was purchasing the August Peridot Fairy pattern, that I would purchase the beads as well. So last week was payday, so I went ahead and purchased it with payday money. Next week, I think, is also payday, and I will probably be purchasing the fabric and possibly the dyes. Maybe. I'm still not 100% sure what color I want to dye the background, because this isn't a full coverage piece. It's just the fairy. I was thinking of a dark teal to bring out, like, there's teal in it, but it's just this little bit in the wings. So I thought if I did like a really dark teal, that it would help bring that out, and it would also help the green in her wings and the purpley indigo kind of color that is. It's really hard to tell what color that purplish bluish color is. Indigo, I guess. I'm hoping that it will help bring out more the wings and the dress if I dye it a dark teal, but I might also add some purple and green into it. I'm still not quite sure what I want to do for the background. So I will start slowly, paycheck by paycheck, acquiring the pieces to kit this up. I've got the pattern, I've got the beads. I still need to get the fabric. I need to get dyes, probably. And then I'll need to get the floss, which there's not nearly as much floss in this as there is in the Heaven and Earth Designs pattern. So that is the next project that's on the horizon once I'm finished with the Castle by Teresa Wentzler. And when I do the video where I go over the finish, I'm probably going to start that video off with a dye video, and I'm going to dye the fabric for this, and then while I'm waiting for it to set up for the 30 minutes or so, I'll do the project updates and such, and then at the end I should have just enough time to be like, okay, it's done, let me rinse it out. Then, I lay it out on, some towels and let it absorb some of the water. And then I usually iron it while it's still damp and then let it finish air drying. So, like, I'll bring you into my process for when I dye my fabrics and, set them up for my next project. So that's, let's see, it took 11 weeks to get halfway done on the Teresa Wentzler. So in another 11 weeks, no, I'm just kidding. This portion of, where is it? This portion of the pattern is like, there's not as much stuff down here, and on the, like, it's not as full as the top portions were, I guess is how I want to say it. I mean, I think the page with the least amount of stitching, I don't know now. Maybe it's pretty equal. So that means in another 11 weeks, I'll be finishing the Teresa Wentzler. That is it. That is my progress for this week. And I will see you next week. Next week, kids don't have school on Monday, but they do go back to school on Tuesday. So I will do my video on Tuesday. That way I can be downstairs. I can be at the kitchen table like I normally am. I can have the better lighting. So I'll see you next week.